Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to, what is this? DeWitt, I'm blaming you.
Oh.
My cord was all like, you know. Oh, wait, and my necklace is stuck on stuff. Oh, we're a mess. Welcome to Tuesday night. Well, that's a start, isn't it? Oh, look, there it is again. Oh, for gosh sakes. Okay. Hang on, everybody. I was just saying, I said, you didn't put me in preview so I could see you. And he's like, oh, you're fine. Okay, here we go. All right, guys, hi, I'm Suzanne Runyon. Welcome to Tuesday night. This is HSN Gets Crafty with me. If you're brand new, I'm thrilled you're here. If you're one of my crafting cuties who've been here over and over again, or maybe recently, welcome. You know, I love this hour because we really take our time to go through products and techniques. And tonight is a Technique Tuesday. And the coolest thing about it, the reason I love doing it so much is number one, that's number one. But number two is we really get to take a hard look at stuff. And tonight I picked something that at first glance can seem really, really complicated. And then when you kind of break it down and play with it, and I'm going to add tips to it too. It's actually only one kit, but we're going to really work through it tonight. And I'll add a bunch of tips to help you out just in general or whatever you're working on. But that's what I love about this show is that we get to take the time to actually look at crafting products. So it's been a blast. And starting March, we have an entire craft month in March. I'm very excited because that will be going into our 3rd year mark. So it's going to be our 3rd anniversary in March. So we're all very excited about that. And you guys have made it possible. So here's what happens. First and foremost, I do shout outs because I want to get everybody on board before we get into the meat and potatoes of what I'm going to do tonight. And then I do something new now. So I only do shout outs for a couple of minutes because I tried in the past to get to everybody. But I'm now featuring your work. And here's what we're doing. If we have our new group page available, it's called HSN Gets Crafty with Suzanne. It is a group page, and I have to make an official announcement. Literally 24 hours ago, we now have 3,000 members. Yay! Here it is, you guys. And if you haven't become a member yet, 3,100. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. And what's really cool is I've wanted for 2 years to see what you were doing. I wanted your ideas. What are you working on? Let me see what you're doing with the kits you buy from us. And everybody's been posting the coolest stuff, and it's really wonderful. And you could be a beginner, you could be super talented. We've got the whole spectrum, but it's one of the most supportive and neatest groups I've ever been involved in. So thank you guys. And I'm so inspired every day by everything everybody's posting. So if you haven't posted or you haven't joined, please join our new group. It's been a ball so far, and I just see it getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So in just literally about 2.5, 3 weeks, we now have over 3,100 members of our group. So yay! Thank you. All right, so let's do shout outs to get started, and then we'll get into the project. Start up first. Sandy, you are first in line. She says, hi, Suzanne from Greenville, Kentucky. We have Suzette joining us from Hawaii. Aloha! We get so excited. We have people from beyond the mainland. Susan's from Indiana. Hello. Marcia's here. Hi, girl from Virginia Beach. Sherry's joining us from Columbia, Missouri. Hello. Oh, by the way, if you are a first-timer, put first-timer because I want to make sure and say hello to you, and I don't want to miss it. And DeWitt, who's doing all the jobs tonight, will hopefully be able to track that as well, but he's really busy. All right, Linda says, hello, Suzanne. Getting ready for a winter storm, Michigan. Ugh. I heard you guys are supposed to get blasted up that way, right? Stay safe. Just stay inside, stay warm, and craft. You know what's great about a big old storm, or down here in Florida, a big rainy day, is you can't get outside, so you can just sit inside and craft all day, and there's something so wonderful about that, if you get the chance. All right, Mary says hello from Harvey, Louisiana. You go, Suzanne. Thanks, guys. Myrna, hi, Myrna. She's joining us from Orlando, Florida. Linda from cold South Dakota. Hi, Linda. Then we have Lynette joining us, and Kimberly's here, and Lacey's here from Palm Harbor, Florida, a neighbor. Geraldine's joining us from Pasadena, California. I love my California folks. We have Lori joining us. Hi, Suzanne, tuning in from Staten Island, New York. Oh, my gosh. We got a New Yorker in the house. Emily says, hi, nice to see you. Or Amelia, I'm sorry. Amelia says, hi, nice to see you. And lovely to see you. We have Lisa. Hello, Suzanne. So happy to finally get to join you from Tennessee. Well, Lisa, welcome. We're glad you're here. Hope you enjoy the show. Martha said option A. Oh, it's option A. Oh, I think that's the live show. Is Sarah on right now with Sarah's show?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sure. Option A. I'm going with option A, too. I don't know what it is, but I'm going with it. Jeannie says, yay, I remembered you were on this time. Yeah, thanks for all of you who've been following for a couple years now. We did move the show to 8 p.m. East Coast time. I do have a little change next week because I'm on the air Tuesday night. So I'll tell you about that a little bit later. So just keep it on your calendar. And thanks for being so flexible and adjusting with us with our times. Beverly's joining us from Charlotte, and Donna says from South Jersey. Marianne, hi girl, she's joining us from Myrtle Beach. Dee is from Wisconsin. Hello. Sharon, good evening, everyone. Antonia, hi girl, she says hi Suzanne. We have B, says hi Suzanne and team, Northern California here. I love it when I get my CA girls and guys there. Diane, hello from Toms Rivers, New Jersey. I know exactly where Toms Rivers is, actually. Michelle, hello Suzanne, and Crafting Cuties from Tupper Lake, New York. Is that anywhere near Tupperware? That is a horrible, totally DeWitt. That did not deserve even that. Connie, hi Suzanne. Very windy here. I'm glad I got on. Las Vegas. Oh, Las Vegas. There you go. Monica says, yay. Donna says, hi neighbor. Melinda says, hello Suzanne. Melanie from Southern California. Wow. Jessica's from Southern Illinois. Felicia is joining us from Toledo, Ohio. I went to Bowling Green State University, which is right near Toledo, Ohio. Oh, good. First timers. We have Ruth. And is it Marcin?
I think. Marcia?
It's M-A-R-C-I-N.
CIA.
Oh, that's an A?
Okay.
DeWitt, Marcia, and Brenda. DeWitt's like, you know what, Suzanne? I'm doing everything here, okay? Give me a break. I can't do an A. Let's see. We have Sharon, 81 degrees here today in South Texas. It was pretty warm here in Florida, too, as a matter of fact. Deborah, hello from Macon, Georgia. Loretta, so refreshing after a busy day at work. Love Tuesday nights. Loretta, thank you. I really appreciate that. All right, Cheryl's joining us from Stewart, Alaska.
Right?
Yes, that's so cool. Antonia says, yay. Melissa says, watching from, oh, shoot. Is that a real city? Oh, Snowmageddon. That's funny.
Yeah,
I thought for a second that I was like, well, it's Minnesota. They might have a city name. That's Snowmageddon. I get it. Yeah, I hear you guys are getting I heard it's a big blizzard coming through. Ruth is first timer. I said hi to you, Ruth. Marcia as well. Diane from Savannah. Love Savannah, Georgia. Kathy Wolf. Hello from Las Vegas. Is that Kathy Wolf? I don't know. That's not her last name.
No.
I know she doesn't have stressing unless she's recently done something I'm not aware of. Carol, hi Suzanne. Charging up all my stuff, expecting big storms here in Western New York. Gosh, I guess you guys are all getting it, huh? Well, be safe. Be safe, be warm, be careful, all that kind of good stuff, okay? Beverly, hi from Tennessee. Love our Tuesdays. Oh, thanks, Beverly. I'm going to keep going. Lynette's here from Massachusetts. Another Lynette from Kansas who's a first timer. Hi, another Lynette. There's like two in a row. Linda from Tennessee. Hello. Pamela. Hola from Minnesota. Hello. Crafty Diva. Crafty Diva Bling Queen. That should be my grandma name.
Yeah.
I'm not a grandma yet. My son's not even married. He will be eventually, but that would be hilarious. All right. Sandy, and that was, she said hi from Indianapolis. We have Sandy from Pittsburgh. Ellie's joining us. I'm excited it's Tuesday, looking good. I don't know. I did this, and I don't know. I don't know if it's really working tonight, but you know, it's one of those things. I worked last night till 2, or this morning till 2 a.m. So sorry, this is kind of what you get after already being on the air, up late, and being here again. So, but you guys don't care, and I love that. All right, we have Richard. Hi, Richard. How are you? We have Karen from Kentucky. Brenda, first timer. Hi, Brenda from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I love Rocky Mount. I know exactly where that is. I used to live in North Carolina. Nazara is from New Jersey in the house. New Jersey's in the house. She says, hello, everyone. Jennifer, I'm loving the Getting Crafty with Suzanne page. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, I'd love you guys to react to it. Let me know if you're loving it. I've been overwhelmed at how amazing everybody is and how supportive and cool. I check it all the time. I try to comment. I do post some stuff, but I'm just loving it. Richard's from North Florida. Hey, Richard. Coletta. Hi, girls. Joining us from Kansas. Coletta, I think you've been here since day one. I swear, don't you think Coletta's been here?
I think I have.
I think from the first show 2 years ago in March, I think Coletta's been here. And some of you are. I know Brenda, she's been with us for a long, long time. We have a lot of you have. So I love all you guys who are my longtime crafting cuties. I shouldn't say older. Should I? All right, how much time do I got to get going? Teresa is from Harlem, New York City. Hello and welcome.
Also first timer.
And a first timer. And so is Susan, Teresa, and Pat. Hi, you guys. All right, I know I got to get moving. Judy is from Batavia, Ohio. All right, Judy, you got to tell DeWitt, say DeWitt, so we'll see it.
Yeah.
I do not know where that is, and I was born and raised in Ohio. So now I have to know. I have no idea where it is. It's like Snowmageddon. All right, Sandy's here. Long Island, New York. Another Long Islander, Kimberly. She says, hi from Walla Walla, Washington. I tried to get on 3 hours ago. I didn't realize the time they showed me was already Pacific time, as I set an alarm on my phone so I wouldn't forget to do the live. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's a little early. Susan Tom Rivers, she's brand new. Another Tom River. Teresa, I'm a first timer from New York. We talked about that. From Harlem. I love that. All right, I'm going to keep going, you guys. And again, we have people. My social, is Jessica on tonight?
Yes, indeed.
So Jessica's here. She's doing the social bit. DeWitt's going to keep an eye. And I'm going to try to keep an eye, too, especially if you have comments or questions as I'm going through my Technique Tuesday. But I'll try to keep checking back in. There's just so many of you, and I know you want me to get into the heart and soul of this. So what I'm going to do, though, is I do have to feature the pics that we did from this last week of people who have been posting on our brand new group page. So I'm so excited about it. The first one up is Garda Cox. She said, this cracked me up. I had to post this. I had to show you guys this one. It made me laugh. My fur baby watching the craft program with me Tuesday night. How cute is that? And then DeWitt said, and I missed it, there was another gal who posted her fur baby after that. I would have put it all on because who could resist a fur baby? But I'm sorry I didn't see the second picture. But is that not hilarious? I love that, Garda. All right, Gladys. She said, hello, I'm Gladys. And something to know about me is I like the fascinators my daughter makes. I'm from London, England. Okay, come on. I had to put these on. I was like, yeah, that's a craft. And look how fabulous those are.
Phenomenal.
Oh, I love it. Hey, by the way, if you go to my Suzanne Runyon Facebook page, go way, way back. I did a fascinator with a teacup and Prince Charles in it with a whole, maybe I'll post it. Actually, you know what I'll do?
Yeah.
I'll dig it up and post it on the HSN Gets Crafty page because I did make a fascinator once. All right, Brenda, here is, I love this one. This is really cool. Now check this out, okay? And this is metal crafting, stamping on metal, which, by the way, I think is really hard to do. And Brenda, you're a master at it. She said, here's a key fob I made for a friend who's in the process of adopting a child. I metal stamped the charm and sewed the key fob. Turned out quite adorable. I mean, that's what it's all about, too, you know, marking these really cool occasions. Earlier today, again, it's probably when my hair looks bad, a friend of mine lost his father. And, you know, I had a card that I had crafted, and I gave it to him tonight because I saw him because he was doing a celebration of life at the beach. And, you know, it's those moments where, you know, we can share something with somebody that we love that they'll remember, you know, like, oh, wow, thanks for thinking of me at that moment. So it's kind of what crafting is all about. All right, Diane said, and I thought this was fantastic. Okay, look how good this is, you guys. Tulips, all ready to go on a Mother's Day card. How fantastic is that? Like, the technique is unbelievable for those flowers. Like, out of this world, fantastic. So I wanted to show that one too. All right, you guys like that one? All right, let me know. Weren't those great? Aren't those really fun? So again, I'm zipping through. Tuesdays are the best. Thank you. That was HSN said that. Thank you, HSN. Thanks, Jessica. I'm glad you like Tuesdays. Barb, first time here from Fort Lauderdale. Hi, Barb. How are you? Melina says, oh, so pretty. I love the fascinators. Dee said, hello from Colorado. First time. Hi, Dee. Welcome. Leslie says, that's spectacular. Susan said, gorgeous. Melina said, beautiful. I think we're talking about those flowers there at the end. Okay, so let's take a moment and talk about this week's craft. All right, so I'm only working with one kit, but what I'm going to try to do is share a whole bunch of tips as we're going through it. And for me, I'll be very, very honest with you. When I see a die set that has teeny little pieces, I tend to avoid them like the plague. For me, up until this kit, I have not had the patience. I'm just like, oh, those little teeny pieces are going to make me crazy. I'm not going to like it. And then I decided when I was digging around, I wanted to do a Technique Tuesday. I said, Suze, you're now going to force yourself to actually deal with these, right? And I have a ton of tips for you. And I ended up loving fiddling around with these little pieces. So here's what I'm going to do. From the overhead, you ready? I'm going to show you my finished project, okay? Now, the theme of tonight's show is spring. Oh, thank you. It's called Spring in 3D. And everything on this card, other than the paper, which I provided, is done with this kit. How fabulous is this? Now stay with me because you're going to see a whole bunch of variations that I hope truly inspire you. But isn't this neat? And I think sometimes when we see kits like this, we even order them, and tell me if you've done this. You've ordered a kit and then you looked at it and thought, oh, there's no way I'm going to figure that one out. So I'm actually going to break this down for you. And there's a couple of things that I was pleasantly surprised at when I figured out. I thought once I got it figured out the first time, everything just made sense. Like I could now make these pretty darn fast at this point because I just had to get through that hump. You kind of got to get over the, oh my God, there's so many millions of pieces. What am I going to do? And then I fell in love with it. It was so much fun. So this is what we're making. I hope you guys like it. And I'm going to show you variations. So pretty. Thank you guys. How cute is that? All right, so here we go. So this is the kit. Now what's really interesting is it's from Crafter's Companion, which is Sarah Davies, and she's one of the most delicious people on earth. And they make great, great kits. So I'm gonna show you the kit itself. And at first glance it's like, oh goodness gracious, my God, look how teeny that die is right there. That's a bird, by the way. So here's what it looks like. It's called Spring Garden, and it does make, in its concept, a 3-dimensional card. And again, so then what I did was I went online. I'm like, well, she's got to have a YouTube video on this. And for the life of me, I could not find a video. But I saw her on the air, and she maybe did 2 presentations, and I only could find the really truncated one. So I really dug deep. And so if you have this kit and you've been afraid of opening up, or if you've already used it, great, let us know. I'm going to show you how to do this so you're not intimidated anymore by this kit, or quite frankly, any of her 3-day stuff that she does, okay? So you don't have to be, and I'll show you some tricks to this one as well. All right, so here's what I learned first and foremost. So you get all these little goodies you see here, and you do get some stamps with it. This is going to be the base of the card. This base right here, I started working with it and just realized, oh my gosh, you could do so many different things with this base. So I'm just going to show you the basics first, and then we'll move on from there. So what I did was, and again, for me, doing the first one, I just sort of had to figure it out, right? I was like, okay, I think I got it. I'm sure there's probably a video out there, but I could not find it. So what I did was I first started with the actual base size, and it even says right here on it the size, right? 6.8 by 3 inches. So what I did was, this is my base, and what I did is I used a really sturdy base because this is going to hold a lot of stuff on top of it. So I went for a thicker cardstock. It's not just a piece of paper. I definitely went thicker than most cardstock here in America. So I used a nice sturdy base. Then what you're going to do is, again, I'm not going to cut everything out just yet. I'm going to show you it. So the first part of this is you're going to cut this little piece right here, okay? And I'm going to take a piece of paper, and it's going to be this guy. Now, the reason it looks poopy is I don't care, because basically this part's going to be hidden, but I wanted this color in the background. So envision this is a whole piece of paper. You put this down like this. You're going to run it through your machine, right? And I have my little marquee right here, and it's going to cut that first layer out. Now, what I discovered is you also want to put the sky, and I did a very traditional design to start with, very traditional. So I thought, well, blue sky. And by doing it very traditional to start with, it's easier to pick your paper colors. When you start doing some alternatives I'm going to show you, it becomes really fun. But for me and the way my brain works, I wanted just to go, all right, blue sky, I got it. Now, I couldn't stand a typical blue sky because, well, I just can't do it. So what I did is I found, this is a Cuttlebug, a really old die from Anna Griffin. And I thought, you know what, let's texture up the blue sky a little bit. And so what I did was I put it inside here, and watch what I'm going to do. You see how it's long right there? Here's a little tip, no worries at all. Because most of this you're not going to really notice the details. It just adds a little bit of texture. Then I flipped it around, and then that little piece that I didn't hit, I just did the end of it and flipped it through again. And there we go. So instead of doing a typical blue sky, I definitely wanted to zhuzh it up. I even tried sanding it, but this isn't a white interior. So it worked, it dulled it down a little bit. I'll show you a better sanding technique later on in another example. But I wanted my sky to be fun, so I wanted to kind of look like fluffy clouds or just something other than a piece of blue paper. All right, so what you're gonna do is, the first thing I did was, I've got my hard cardstock, we already talked about that, and I'm gonna go ahead and put my blue sky on, because that is just a very basic piece. There's nothing too spectacular. Oh man, I did the wrong way. Well, you get the idea. It still shows some of the design. All right, so there it is. Now what you're going to do is, this is the next piece, but I'm not going to put it down yet, okay? And I'm building this. Okay, so here's the sky in the back. That's the next piece, and there's going to be 2 more pieces after that. But the way you connect these is actually quite simple, again, once you figure it out. And I just had to play with it for a little bit to figure it out. This is my next piece, and this is actually cut using this die. So it goes like this. Now, you have these little fold things on the end, which you're going to fold over, okay? Now, of all the dies in the set, this is the only one that didn't go through my marquee in one pass. So I want to show you that. So see how it's a little longer, but don't worry. All I did was pick the whole thing up, and I stick it down with washi tape, and then I turned the whole thing around and just ran that end through, and then it gave me the full cut. All right, everybody with me? Do it? Everybody following okay? All right, now, this is interesting because this piece is going to attach to this piece, and this piece is going to attach to this piece. So you don't actually want to put this down yet. So you kind of get this in the position, you're like, okay, that looks about what I want, so I want that much sky left. Now, what you're going to do is, I'm going to take this, and you're going to take that little edge, and I'm going to put some tape on it like this, right? And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tape it to the back of the hard card. So that white card back there is where I'm going to attach it. And you're going to find out why I'm doing this in just a second. So I attach that side just like that. Okay, so now it folds over, but this piece is still loose, all right? Now, here's where I had to do some figuring. So I thought, okay, the concept is I'm going to make a little slit along here somewhere where I'm going to slip this piece in and tape it to it. But I've got to make the curve because I want that second piece right here to pop out, right? So you kind of got to figure out how big a curve you want. If you want a little curve, you kind of go there. If you want a great big curve, you kind of put it in there. So I'll turn it sideways. So again, maybe a little curve, maybe a big curve. So I kind of wanted not too big of a curve because I've got one more curve to go. So what I did was I took this, and then I took my pencil, and then I just put, I'm going to put it right here. I'm just going to put, wait, let me see. It'll work. I'll make it work. I'm going to put a mark right here. This is a little screwed up, but it's still going to work. Okay, so my curve's pretty big, but not crazy big. Then you're going to take a straight knife, and you're actually going to cut a hole. Now, the problem is I did need a full piece of paper for this. But hey, we're crafters. We're going to figure this out. So what you do now, I've got this slit right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, and I'm going to put more tape on here, and I'm going to adhere this to the slit right there. So it's going to give me the curve that I need. I got to make it a little bit deeper because I want this to land right here. Well, let's see how it looks. Well, it looks pretty good. I guess I can go with that. All right, so we're going to go with that. I think it looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is, again, before I tape the bottom piece down, I'm going to go ahead and do this first curved piece. And basically how you do it is you make a hole, really, and then you're going to fold it back over on this, okay? So then when I put that down, you're going to see it's going to make the curve, right? Everybody with me? So now at this point, this piece is done, and I can go ahead and tape it down. So that, I figured that one out. The first time I did this, it was pretty funny. When I did it originally, I had taped that first piece down, and then I was like, oh, wait a minute, I got to go backwards. I got to get that one to not taped down. That's what I needed.
Michelle is telling us Diamond Press makes a slimline folder that's longer.
Yes, they do. Oh, yeah, thanks, Michelle. You're absolutely right. I just was too lazy to get mine out, so I just figured out an alternative. I literally had a longer one. I was just like, no, I'm just going to, because you know why? You're right, but I thought, well, if anybody doesn't have the slim line and they're a little intimidated or like, oh, I don't have that, I can't do it, I just want to show you how you can. All right, so there you go. The first two pieces are down. Now, same concept. I took another color, and again, this one fits in perfectly, so you don't need the slim line. You've got your two edges here. Now, this one is going to go over the back and the edge here on the back, on that side, okay? So once again, we're going to do it this way. And it'll cover all this up, so no one's going to see that, thank goodness. And I'll put that right like that, okay? So now, once again, I got to figure out how big do I want the curve. You know, do I want it to be really exaggerated or just a little bit? And I just like a little bit. That's kind of what I like. Now, I did find when I was doing this, it's okay to kind of push this down a little bit. And I'm going to mark this once again. In this case, you'll see, I want to make sure I get that down a little lower. This time, because I have a full sheet of paper, it's going to work a little easier. Now, again, you want to be careful when you're doing this, but because you don't want to cut all the way through to the bottom. So you're just going to make a little slit mark. And then we're going to put a little tape on this. And then you see how you're doing? Can you guys see that okay? You're going to slide that through. Come on. And it's going to tape down below. And there we go. Now, what's interesting on this one is I needed to make it a little bit tighter so that actually pops out a little bit more. But we're gonna get the same effect. You'll get the idea. And even that's kind of cool looking without me having to do that. So now I've got everything taped down. If you want, you could put a little piece of masking tape underneath here just to make sure those pieces stay down. But you can see now I've got the dimension. In this one, you'll see I made it a little bit closer in like this, so you get more of a puff out here. But I think this is kind of cool that it actually goes like that. It's gonna make it different. All right, now, this is where the fun begins. As you begin to decorate. Now here's my tip on all these little pieces, okay? So I'm gonna put all these guys are done, and now we're gonna work here. With these little pieces, here is my big tip for you. When you go to die cut them, and also, do you have the picture of my scrap box? Here we go. I save, just like all of you probably, every little scrap of paper I think I've ever had in my life. And you're gonna see a box I shot in my kitchen table. There it is. That box is this box of scrap paper. I have never loved a kit more than when I was able to get all of my colors and use a whole bunch of those little pieces. And I'm talking about teeny little pieces. So how many of you guys can relate? You're like, oh yeah, that's me. That is me. That's exactly what I do. So you think, oh my goodness, what am I doing with all these scrap paper I have? And then I was like, I went crazy. I was so happy about this. So here's my tip on this one, guys, especially when you're working with, again, multiple dies. What you do is, let me show you. For example, let's say I'm going to do this piece of green grass. Is you're going to set this up like this. You're going to set it up, oh, a little bit bigger than that. All right, so again, this all came from my little scrap thing. So that's my green grass. I really like using washi/washi tape because it keeps it down. All right, let me show you my, let's see, my fence. I love this, and again, this is just some paper I had. So this is the coolest fence. Now, here's another little tip for you, which is really neat. These dies are so good, I'm actually going to do this live for you, that I was able to cut 3 deep, 2 deep and 3 deep. And that makes making this a whole lot faster. So if you need multiple pieces of grass, just go 2 layers deep. If you need multiple fence pieces, which you'll see on here, I had 3 fence pieces. The first time I did it, I did 1 piece, 2nd piece, 3rd piece. And then I went, wait a minute, let's see if these dies are gonna go through multiple pieces. And of course, because they're Crafter's Companion, yes, they're gonna go through multiple pieces. So I'm gonna put this down here, stick that on. Now, I've got this little birdie here, and I'm gonna make him, in this case, because it's the color I have, I'm gonna make him a little piece of this orange from this little pumpkin, all right? So we're gonna grab a little birdie. So my whole tip on this one is pack as much stuff, and then when you're only doing 1 pass, all of a sudden you're like, voila, look, it's all done. This is fantastic. The project goes much, much faster, okay? I could still do, if I want to do my little chairs, if I had the orange, I could put those here. So that's a little tip, because again, when I was first exploring with this kit, I did each die one at a time, just because I was trying to figure it out. So I did all the thinking for you, basically. Then I figured out, oh no, I'm just gonna use all these pieces and just jam pack my embossing card or my die cutting card, right? And just get a whole bunch of junk done at once instead of having to go one at a time. That for me was a game changer because I realized I could start literally cranking these out a whole lot faster, simply because it was like, duh, let's pile it all on. So watch this. It's so nice too because these dies are beautiful and they're such good quality. So here's my fence, right? And you can see, look how nice. There's my first fence. There's my second fence. So now you're really knocking out a project, okay? So again, while it could look very complicated, people go, oh, there's no way I'm gonna make this card. Yeah, it goes really fast. All right, here's my little birdie. Let's check and see how my little birdie did. There he is. Okay, here's another little tip for you. Oh, there he is. There's my birdie. We're gonna set him there. He turned out great, okay? Now let's check my grass. I only did 1 layer of grass because I only want 1 piece for this design. And, where's it at? Did I lose it? Oh, here it is. Here's my grass. Look how pretty. Okay, so now right there I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Clearly, as you guys can see, I could have done a whole bunch more pieces in that 1 pass. Now, the other thing I want to show you, so that's a tip for you. 1 pass makes you happy. And again, I really love the fact that I am much less intimidated with this process simply by learning that little trick. So it's not taking hours and hours and hours to make these. All right, one of my favorite pieces of the whole darn thing is this tree right here. I love this tree. You're gonna see me use it a couple different ways. But let's go to the tree. Now, again, this is really important because what I wanted to do with my tree, if you'll notice, I have green on the top and brown on the bottom for the tree, of course, right? So what I did was I took this brown paper that I found, again, in that big scrap box, which I was going crazy over because I was finally using all those silly scraps. And I take a piece of green like this. And you notice I'm not cutting it out. I'm being pretty, I probably made that a little too tight, but who knows, it might fit. Yeah, it's gonna work, look at that. And again, 2 layers, so I'm gonna make this much quicker. I'm gonna make it a whole lot more efficient. And I also found this kind of zen-like. It was really kind of cool when I started playing with it. And then once the picture starts coming together, you're like, okay, this is so awesome. Again, we're gonna run through my marquee. And let's look. All right, here we go. You ready? Okay, great. All right, look, okay, so here we go. Look how cool this is, right? Okay, yay, we love that, right? It's the little things when I do this stuff. All right, so here we go. So that's my tree. Here's my other tree. Then what I did was I did do a little fussy cutting on this. So I'll grab my scissors, and I took and I just wanted to keep the branches here. So I want that branch, and I want this branch piece. And I'm gonna give you another tip here in just a second on what I discovered. I discovered a lot doing this. Oh, I think I overcut that one. Oh, it'll stay on, it'll be fine. Oh, nope, fell off. Okay, we'll figure it out. Here, here, and here. Okay. All right, I did lose one piece, but I can probably stick it on later. Now, here's something I want you guys to know. Because there's so many small little pieces like this fence and all that, and there's open work, especially on the fence, if you use regular double stick tape, you're gonna have what are called, I call them tape boogers. They'll all be inside here, it will drive you crazy. So I love using, this is a dot adhesive tape, and it only goes where it needs to go. It doesn't stick to anything else. I also would recommend using a silicone sheet like I am, because all the little leftover tape, if there is any, just comes up really easy. So instead of cutting this out, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna layer this guy on top of this guy to make my tree. Hello, isn't that great? So you cut once, you put it together, boom, it all comes together really, really quickly. So again, hope you love the little tips. Now, the other thing I would highly recommend, because we're gonna start building this in just a second, is tweezers. That came in real handy when I was working on this project. Because again, look at my wee little cardinal right there, right? So here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and take the base I was working on, and now after I showed you a couple of examples of how this works, we're gonna start building it, okay? So remember, what I did was, again, once you figure this out, all of a sudden you go, oh, I got this, so it comes together really well. So I'm gonna leave that little flower there, because that one snuck out. But here's all my pieces. So I pre-cut these, and I'm telling you, with that one method I showed you, I really cut them out fast. I was like, oh my gosh, this project's ready to go. I just have to put it all together. Now you're going to see, and DeWitt, I'm going to do this real quick so everybody's, am I missing any comments, DeWitt? I don't want to lose anybody.
No, everyone's.
We
right
okay?
there,
Everybody, are y'all hanging?
What? They're impressed. They want you to make them into converts with these small pieces.
Oh, because they're the same thing, yeah.
They'd avoid it too.
Yeah, right? Okay, good. Thank you. All right, here, guys. So I'm going to show you another technique I did on this. I love these little trees. There's 3 trees total, right? And I love these little trees, but I thought, man, they need a little more personality to them. And you can see I did the double cut here, and I did the double cut here because I wanted to give them all brown trunks. So with this one, just to give it a little more oomph to make it separate out, I took my ink pad, and again, this is very basic. There's a lot of you who are brand new, and you just flick the sides with, and I tend to, when I'm doing something like this, use the same color family, just because, you know, a tree's a tree. I mean, I could have used black, but I kind of like the dark green better. So again, here is my brown bottom, and I just have to cut this off, and I'm gonna adhere that brown part, again, dot matrix. Now, this is when your little tweezers come in handy. It's all this. Make sure you have tweezers. This will make you not as crazy if you have a little pair of tweezers to work with. It really helps. Okay, so that little tree's all done, right? And of course, if we're gonna mimic what I did here, that tree is actually this guy right here, so I would put him right about here, okay? And that was really, I'll tell you what was really cool, you guys, was kind of when this was coming together. It was like, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. Now look at this little birdie here. I mean, good Lord, look how teeny that little birdie is. All right, we're gonna turn the little birdie over. And again, I'm telling you, the dot matrix tape makes life a whole lot easier. So again, love the tweezers. And again, I'm going to put my little birdie right in there. Okay, so that's our bird. All right, let's put a tree in. So here's my tree, and I've got 2 trees I'm going to use. There's the trunk, right? So you guys are getting the idea, I'm sure. So let's put that on there. Okay, tweezers. And this really does, you can see, it helps you get that exact placement that you need. And like I said, the dot matrix will not leave all that excess sticky everywhere. Now this tree I'm actually going to put right here, so I'm really following my design. So again, and don't put tape back here, because that's going to mess up how it's going to stick. So here I'm going to take it, and then I'm going to stick this little guy right about there. All right, so that's that. All right, let's do some more. Come on, let's do it. Now, I will tell you, I've got 2 more ideas coming, so don't you dare leave, because by the time I get to the end of this, I'm hoping you're going to want this kit, because I ended up loving this thing. And you'll see in a minute, I'll get to them. I might not finish this whole thing. Well, ask everybody, will you watch? Do you guys want to finish building the whole thing, or should I show you my other examples? I do want to know that, because if you guys are like, oh, kind of move on, Suze, then I will. But if you want me to finish it, I'll do that too. I am a full-service host here doing this show. All right, so there's your second tree. See how it's all coming together? Isn't this fun? All right, now let me find, here's my littlest tree. And it was really cool because the folks at Crafter's Companion, they always think of everything, right? And I thought it was great because they were like, okay, you've got to have perspective. We got to have that little tree for the way far back. And so when you start playing with this,
we're definitely getting a move on when you can.
Okay, all right, good. I'm okay with that. All right, so here's my little tree, and I'm gonna put the little tree. I'll ink it up, and all right, put it in the back. This one's gonna go all the way in the back. And this guy is gonna go back there. Okay, so you can see I've got all these other pieces. I thought the fence was really fun to work with. Let me just point out what I did. So here's my fence, it's 3 different pieces. And then you also get these little flowers. And the cool thing about it, when you look at your paper, kind of look at it differently. This is the paper that I used for my flowers. And by positioning them in different parts of the flower, it just gave the flowers themselves a whole bunch of different fun little colors. So again, I knocked out 6 flowers in one pass because I did 2 layers. I thought the watering can was adorable, and I put that on the fence. Here's my little chairs. Here's the grass. Here's a bench in the back. So again, and then you also get stamps with this. And they say, in every garden, a little rain must fall, bloom where you're planted. The one I used is enjoy your special day, bloom and grow, spring blessings, and this one says, sent with love. Isn't that sweet? So that is included, and I just stamped that, literally stamped it right on like that.
A couple people would like to know about the dot matrix tape. They're not familiar.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Okay, so I don't know if we have it on .com or not.
I'll look.
I'm not 100% sure. This is Tombow, and I really love Tombow products. It comes in a pink, and you can get the full thing, and then you can just buy refills because it opens up. So you just don't want to waste the products. You just want to buy refills eventually. Dot matrix is like this. If you can come to me, I'll kind of explain it visually with my hands. With regular double-sided tape, when you lay it down, it's like a paintbrush. Think of a wide roller brush. It's laying down a whole wide, the width of the roller brush is laying tape. So if I have something really thin and my roller brush is painting, it's gonna put tape on both sides of it and on what I'm trying to get stuck. With dot matrix, it only attaches to the thing that you want it attached to. So I'll give you a great example. This fence was a booger. I started working with this fence, and I did not have my dot matrix handy dandy when I did it. So when I used my regular tape and I went over the fence, you could see all these little boogers, I call them boogers, but they're spider webs of tape in between it. So I had to take my little tool and I had to go like this, and I had to get that tape out of there. It was a pain. With the dot matrix, it's gonna go over it, and I'll show it. Can we do the overhead real quick? I'll just say, so now with this, as I go over that same area, it's only grabbing where it's supposed to. It skips anything that's empty. So see, you don't see any of kind of that weird leftover tape in between. And if you do see a little bit, it's just virtually nothing compared to using regular double-sided adhesive, okay? Hopefully that explains it. Got it? Right? Okay, so we're gonna move on. All right, so again, here is the finished project. That is straight out of the box. That's exactly, and there's even more accessories. I didn't do the shovel. I did not do the tree swing. I didn't use the wheelbarrow. Like there's actually a ton of that I didn't use. So, but really, really fun, really, really cool. Look at the tree house that's in here too. It's super cute. All right, you ready, everybody? Now we're moving on because I'm going to show you some other stuff. Oh, you guys are making a lot of comments. Coletta says, I sorted my scraps by color groups and paper types last winter. I use them so much more now. Well, that's a heck of a lot more organized than my box of junk. I just dig through it.
They were telling us she needs to make a video of that. We'd love to see it.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, could you post that on our group page? That would be amazing. Because, dang, Jeannie says, "What a smart idea." That is really smart. Oh, you need to make a video. It's funny. Victoria says, "I love how you can mix and match so many sets with the base dies." Yes, and I'm going to show you that too in just a second. Loretta says, "I would need my glasses to find all the tiny pieces." Thus the glasses, Loretta. Let's see, Leslie. I was waiting for her to say I made apples. Debbie, would be cute for Halloween. Well, Debbie, you're just leading me into my next thing. You ready? She said fall colors, pumpkins, bats and crows and a scarecrow, and add a black cat. Coletta said reverse clothes tweezers changed my crafting life. Oh, let me tell you what Coletta's saying. There's these tweezers that actually go like this, and you press down and they go kind of in the reverse. This just happens to be the pair that I had, and they worked really great, but they're called reverse, and you kind of press the middle and they go out to close instead of going into close. Make sense? You just look them up. You know what Laura, we talked about that. Victoria, the card is perfect for Mother's Day. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? But I mean, think of the things you can do, right? All right, move on. Thank you, Marlena. Coming together, great. I'd like to see, oh, you're going to get it, Marlena, in just a second. I just want to make sure, is the wording stamped? Yes, the wording I had on there came from the stamps that are included in the kit. I do want to mention, and Jessica's probably going to be happy that I did that. I don't see it up here right now, but you should be able to shop the product, right? Do we have it ready?
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you guys want to get it, I honestly don't know how many we have in stock. I would imagine it's just a handful, but there's your item number. The price on it is $22.95, which is such a good price for everything you get. And today we have 5 flex pays of $4.59. If you use a major credit card, you can spread your payments out over 5 months. So that's how you get it. I don't see the shop link up here, but maybe I just can't see it. All right, so Crafter's Companion makes a dot tape runners. Yeah, oh, thank you. Yeah, Crafter's Companion, check it out. It'd be the dot tape runners. Thank you guys for your help on that.
We have by Tonic Studios on the site right now.
We do have Tonic Studios has a dot matrix tape runner. Great. So go on to our HSN webpage. And by the way, I use dot matrix for almost all my tape. I do use Anna's at home too, but I just love it, so I use it on everything. And when I get to those situations where I have a lot of little pieces, like this chair, if you use a regular tape runner, this chair, you're going to have more outside gunky tape around it than you care to deal with. So that just makes this more fun, quite frankly. All right, you ready? Let's move on. I'm not going to get to Halloween just yet because I hope you guys crack up at my Halloween one because it's coming up. But this one, I did a fall theme. And what I did in this case is I decided, because when you really see and you play with it for that very first time, you really realize, oh my gosh, all the things you can do. So I honestly just wanted to make a really cool flat card. And again, I'm going to have to trim this a little bit. But what I did is I took a burgundy piece of paper and then I ran it through with, again, this is Sizzix, actually, one of their embossing dies, right, to make a background. And I just wanted to do a fall theme. Now, I still used the same background elements here. But what I decided to do is I am just going to take it and I'm going to actually cut this and use it like that. So when I get this tape down, I'm going to go back in and trim that, and trim that. And then, because again, I'm obsessed with this tree, I got some really pretty little fall paper and grabbing my dot matrix once again, and where are my tweezers? Grab this. And same technique, you guys, run it through once, 2 layers of paper. I really did love this tree, like love it for some reason. I kind of went crazy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually pop that on there. And you could pop dot it if you wanted to raise it up. So let's build the card real quick. I just want to show you a flat version. Or I'll tell you what would be kind of cool too, is when you think about all the different layers, if you wanted to, you could actually take this, and again, you're gonna have to recalculate because you can see my folded edges right here. But if you think about it, I could fold this side. Let's just do it. What the heck, we'll just do it live. Oh yeah, we'll just do it this way. Okay, I'm gonna fold this side, but watch what I'm gonna do. Now this is if I'm gonna mail it, but I could take this edge, fold it, make the slit, and have this come over. Or better yet, why don't we just do it like this? So if you want a little raised, just do a baby version of it, right? But I just want to show you flat because I wanted to send this in a card to somebody. Obviously with this style, I would probably actually, I've started not even putting some of this stuff in envelopes, so I'll just set it in a gift that I'm giving them in the tissue paper. So I give them the full blown thing. Because how in the heck, unless you made a box and mailed it, are you gonna mail that? You can, obviously, but that probably costs a lot of money. All right, so here I'm gonna go ahead and put this down flat so we can finish this one up real quick. I'm gonna lower that just a little bit. This one's gonna go down. And again, you might wanna pop this up with pop dots, just to make it more dimensional. Put this here, there you go. I'm gonna go back under. I usually probably use my, cutter with this, but I'm just doing it by hand because, well, we're all together and just doing our thing. You guys get it. Do that. And get rid of that. How much time do I have to wait?
About 15 minutes.
Oh, 15. Oh, I gotta get my last one. Okay, look, isn't that kind of fun, guys? And again, I could put a red ribbon. You could do a dark ribbon, maybe a green one here. Let your minds go crazy. I could have taken oh shoot, I forgot. I did cut another piece. So I knew I wasn't gonna leave that empty. I know my style well enough. This is my other piece. And actually, this is supposed to go on top of it. I totally forgot. I prepped this a couple days ago. But let me put this down on here. I knew I wasn't going to leave it empty like that. I was like, man, that looks kind of empty. All right, do that. Let's cut these edges off. And this will fit in. This is a card front, so it definitely will fit in a standard envelope. But again, isn't that kind of cool? And I love it. Once you have these core curves, all this stuff, you really can just kind of go crazy, like to create different looks with this. And so there's another one. All right. With only 15 minutes to go, we're going to get to the grand finale, which I'm so excited about this. I literally nerded out on this one, you guys. I thought, yep, Halloween. Who said Halloween in here? Because they were so smart. I got to find the Halloween one. Hang on one second. Who said Halloween? I got to find you. Tombow makes wonderful adhesive. They do read it. Mine are Tombow. Let's see, Cindy, I did the same thing, but I put my scraps in an accordion folder by color. Little ones go in baggies, and then another accordion folder for pattern, again, by color. I have paper organization envy right there. I do not have the time to do that.
Seriously, I want this video.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, yeah.
Where's the organizational video, cuties?
Yeah, we gotta do that. Cuties, put those, DeWitt wants to see the organizational videos. Kathy says, I don't feel as intimidated about making this card. Thanks so much. Thank you. Donna says, love this kit. I have it. Love using metallic silver for shovel, water can, and rake. Yes, of course. That's adorable. Such a good idea. Barbara says, when you have to weed out super little pieces, it sometimes works to roll over the die with a lint roller. Oh, that's a fabulous idea. Yeah, take a lint roller and go over. It'll pick up all those little teeny pieces. I'll also tell you another little tip, especially if you're brand new. Let's say you've got something like this fence and it's stuck in there. You know what the key is? You go like this. You literally drop it, and typically the paper will pop out of it. That's it. You just literally drop it and it'll pop out. So little tip there for you is that as well. How would you mail this card with all the raised layers? Yeah, Barb, I wouldn't. Honestly, I think you'd have to make a custom-made box. This doesn't collapse down. Some of the cards do that we've made through Anna and Crafter's Companion. Honestly, this would be a gift I would hand to somebody directly. And what I do is I get a gift bag, put the gift inside it, and then do the tissue paper on top. And then what I do is I'll pop this in the tissue paper so it sits on the top of the whole presentation. That's what I do when I do really dimensional crazy cards, like that are super thick. I don't even bother with the envelope. But the only other way you could mail this one is to do a box and then put it in the box, and they'd have to open it up. So you could mail it that way if you wanted to. All right, let's do this one. All right.
Someone was asking,
yes.
What is standard card size?
Oh, in this case, well, okay, for this particular design, it's 6.8 inches by 3 inches. So 6'8" going this way by 3 inches high. For my standard cards like this, there's a couple different sizes, but the one I use most is a 5.5 by a 4.5. So that's how I did this. And you just have to think through customizing these pieces to accommodate a smaller card because you can see they're bigger. So mine's 5.5 by 4.5 is usually what I work with. Okay? All right, now, here we go. Because we had someone say Halloween, you're so reading my mind. Let's do Halloween. Okay, let's go to the overhead. I'm going to keep all these pieces because you know darn well I'm finishing that second card. That's a wow card.
Yes,
Somebody gets this card, they're going to be like, dang, girl. All right, so once again, I'm going to break it down for you. Remember, the back piece is just a regular old piece of paper. That's black paper. What I did was, because there's a white core in it, I took my sander, my little sanding tool, and I sanded it to make the night sky for the Halloween. Now remember, this is this piece right here. So I cut this piece out first. And again, I'm making this card flat. I'm not going to make this dimensional, but you could. I cut this piece out second, so you can see it's right there. And I cut this piece out third, which is right there. I did take my purple ink from Little Darlings, and I inked the edges because I really do like to see that dimension between the layers, so you get that perspective like it's hills, right? All right, so then, this is where it really got fun. I am like beyond tickled about this one. I'm such a goofball. All right, so here we go. So I made the little black fences, and again, remember, I only did one pass on these, which was great. I did 3 layers, put it in my, my little die card folder, and threw it through my marquee. So again, this is 3 layers done at once. So again, this is to me, when I got that aha moment, I was like, well, hello, dingy, layer them up. They make great dies. If your paper's super, super thick, it might not cut through 2 layers or 3, but most of the stuff, everything I used, if I did 2 or 3 layers, it cut through beautifully. 2 for sure. Because Crafter's Companion just makes beautiful dies, so they really work. So there's my little black fences right now. I'm going to go ahead and stick this down just because I have to put it together, and I'll try to knock it out before we run out of time here. Okay, so there's my one little fence. And this, remember I was talking about the dot matrix working better, so you just don't have a lot of leftover glue. There's a little bit, but you can see just by running my finger over it, I get those teeny little pieces of tape just come up real easy. So, all right, 1, 2, 3, that's my fence. All right, now we're gonna put down, now in this case, I did grab one of my Halloween stamp sets that I have for some of this embellishment. So, but look what's going to appear again. Okay, watch this, because I'm a nerd. I cut out the trees again. So here's the big tree, right? Isn't that fun? And so again, I'm just going to use these. I probably shouldn't have put my fence down first, but I'm going to put this, I have to squeeze it up a little bit, put this little guy, oh shoot. Put this little guy here. Stay down, guys. That's that little guy. I'm going to put this little guy. This one, because I got something else coming in the scene. And again, I could put these behind the layers if I wanted to. I'm just doing this kind of fast so you guys can see it. Put that little guy right here. I got a little baby one I did in black because I wanted to use it again for perspective. Whoops, the bottom fell. Yes, get off my finger. And I'll put this little guy up here. I gotta get this little, here we go, tweezers come in handy. It's the one project I did not get out Dr. Hook. Put that little guy right here. Okay, now, with my stamping set, it's a stamp and die. I did a little cool house, and then I wanted to do a drop shadow on the house because I just was not happy because I wanted it to pop more. So we're gonna put the little house right here. And I'm gonna put this little house on top of it. And I'm gonna make it a drop shadow. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Sorry. Put this on top. Okay, so this guy. You get, oh no, that doesn't look right. Hang on. Oh, I knew I did this. You guys, it's so funny. I started working on this project for you about 4 days ago. And so from the time I designed it to actually getting it back out of the little baggies and creating it for you, I realized what I had in my head. So I apologize because these guys are supposed to go down here. I'm thinking, wait a minute, that's not gonna work. All right, so here we go. Now, all right, and I probably would move that one over here. I don't like that, sorry, it's live, I'm just gonna do it. And I'd space that out a little differently, but this is, I swear I've got to be a little bit what is it? OCD?
OCD. Oh, yeah.
I got to be a hair bit because that'll drive me crazy not putting it in the right place. All right, there we go. So then look at this little cute ghost I have. It was again, this is a stamping set I had, and I fussy cut that one. So I wanted my ghost to be popping out of a tree. And then here is the creme de la creme. Because again, I'm such a nerd. I was like, wait a minute, I want cobwebs. Well, the only thing I had, I don't have any, I didn't have any, oh, what are they? The little, cotton balls. Thank you, cotton balls. So I go, wait a minute, let me go get some of these Q-tip things, right? And I started pulling on them, and I'll show you what I ended up doing. I was able to make what looks like the spider webs that, you put out at Halloween. And I thought, oh my gosh, how cute is this gonna be? So again, using my trusty dot matrix and my tweezers, I'm gonna put spider webs here. Come on.
Aww.
I hope you all are applauding me a little bit online. I hope I get a little love for this one because I thought this was really clever, if I do say so myself. All right, I'm going to get a little bit more. And again, I just what I found is I just took this and I just started kind of pulling it off of it, And then what you do, again, using the tweezers, is you're just going to pull it apart. So it turns out just like that stuff you buy at the store that you put on your bushes, right? It's pretty funny. I thought, well, that worked pretty good. This is truly MacGyvering crafting. Okay, so let's just put a little bit more on here. Isn't it? I don't know why, but this just tickles me. I'm such a nerd. All right, and then of course,
lots of applause.
Am I getting a lot of you guys loving it? Thank you guys. I love you all so much.
They like this better than the original intended design.
Oh, serious? Oh, come on. I like the original design. That was pretty cool. But hey, to each his own. And I'm going to go ahead and put this up. But I guess the whole point of me doing this part was because if you really think about it, think of all the different variations you can do. You know what I mean? Just having these elements in the background and all the hills. So that's the beginning of it. And then, of course, I have a little Happy Halloween thing I'm going to stick on here somewhere. I guess I'll put it right here for now. Maybe inside. I'll put it... no, I'm not. I'll put it on the inside because I like the front so much. All right, so there it is. Yes, the Halloween version of it. Okay, again, very flat, not dimensional. Or if you really want to go for it, can you imagine an entire Halloween scene where you do use the full dimensionality? I mean, that would be pretty cool. But imagine if you did, again, I thought these elements, these guys that make all the puffiness, you just could go crazy if you wanted to do a downtown scene, if you wanted to do a sweet shop, if you want to do a little village on here. If you have a lot of stamps, like these stamps came from a completely different stamp set, but proportionally it actually worked with the trees and all the other elements. So it's just really neat. And you can imagine, for those of you who have a lot of dies and a lot of different scenes and all that, just by having those core pieces, these guys right here, it really gives you the magic to be able to make these three-dimensional looks using all the other stuff we collect. So here it is. Number 1, number 2 flat, and then finally the Halloween version, number 3 with the little Q-tip spiderwebs. Okay, that was good to it. All right, guys, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to wrap this up. I hope you guys have enjoyed our Technique Tuesday. Great tips. Love the tree color choices. Thank you, guys. Pretty, that's from Myrna, she said. Victoria says, there are tabs that can slide out to flatten the card to mail and back in to display. You might need to include assembly instructions. Yeah, you know what? For my friends, they aren't going to do that. I totally appreciate that idea. But you would have to say, okay, slip it back in. But what I found with the tabs, they should stay in there, but I needed to tape my tabs to make sure it kept it. So, yeah, if you want to lay it flat, you could, and you could mail it that way if you really want to. Let's see. Standard Code did that. It's pretty. Victoria, Sarah Davies showed how during one of her demo videos. Yeah, so if you look it up and try to find her 3D scenes, she has a ton of videos. So that's great that she was able to show you guys. I just was like, yeah, let's see. When I did the accordion folders, got a suggestion from my sister, I was overwhelmed, but actually it went so fast. Yeah. You couldn't just glue one of the sides to make it flat. Yes, that is very true. The purple is pretty. Thank you, guys. Put some gilding wax on those fences to give them an aged antique look. Oh, that's a really good idea, too. That's great. Janie loves the trees. Leslie says those trees look good in black. Very artistic from Loretta. Thank you. How's the tape stick and hold the paper pieces on the card? Well, it just sticks to the paper, and then I just slam it on the card. That's kind of how it works. Darlene says, cute design. Janie says, clever. Or Yeah, Janie says clever. Mirna says I like it. Thank you. Celeste is very cute. Looks better than the original. Leslie, come on. I think this original was really, really good. That's a lot of work. But here's the thing, because I am going to wrap it up. What I found about this was it took the intimidation out of doing what, to me, I've always avoided. If it comes with a million little pieces, I'm like, you got to be kidding me, I have no time. When I figured out a couple of those really quick and easy tips, it comes together really, really fast. And so I hope that helped you. So don't be intimidated when you see another item like this on the air, or if you have these and you've never opened them up, because a lot of us are guilty of that. I hope I've gotten rid of some of that intimidation with the tools and the techniques that we talked about tonight. All right, next week's show is actually going to be a little bit earlier. I'm sorry. It's going to be at 7 p.m. because I actually go on the air at, is it 7, right? Yeah, because I go on the air at 9. So we had to make it early because I go on TV from 9 to midnight. So that's next Tuesday. Please rejoin me here. We actually have guests next week. And what is a hint? Because I'm not 100% sure, because I've gotten a lot of stuff in my mail recently.
Oh, I'm honestly like...
You're drawing a blank?
I can tell you 3 shows from now.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. I will post. If you go to our new Facebook group page, or if you go to Suzanne Runyon on HSN or Suzanne Runyon 1 on Instagram, I will post what the theme will be for next week when I have my guest joining me. I know it's going to be cool. I know one item, but I don't remember the other one. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I hope you have an awesome rest of your evening. You know I love all my crafting cuties, and thanks for hanging out with me tonight.